Okay.
Happy Friday, everyone, and good morning to each and every one of you. Welcome to the Autopsy of Her, Evolving, Healing, Resiliency. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I am Iris Denise Owens, your host, and on the line with me is my beautiful sister and co-host. Good morning, honey bunny.
Good morning, honey bunny. Stephanie Deani Green. Good morning, everyone.
How are you?
I am great. I took a nap yesterday and it changed my life.
I love that. You said I took a nap yesterday and it changed my life. I love that. You know what? I think I'm starting to realize, as our elders used to say, that youth is wasted on the young. And I realized that because something like taking a nap, right? Because as children, remember, if someone tried to make us take a nap, we'd be like, no, I'm not sleepy. I am not sleepy. And now we're like, if I could just get 30-minute nap somewhere in this day to take a break, oh my God, it would change my life, like you just said. So how wonderful is it that you got to take a nap? And I try to take naps. I struggle with naps. So,
well, my body tells me so, because I really don't like it because I wake up a little groggy. This time I woke up slowly. Like I was okay, it didn't come like, and so I just didn't jump up and I didn't feel that my body needs it. It works. And I can tell you, yesterday it changed my life. I woke up and I was like, okay now.
Well, in that case, I probably need to take several naps. Okay. Today we're going to focus on, or our topic, I should say, today is going to be focus on what you have and not what you, and don't focus on what you don't have.
Yeah,
okay. So let me say that again. Focus on what you have. In other words, focus on your blessings versus focusing on what you don't have. And so this conversation is really deep for me today, because as you guys know, Steph and I always have the pre-show conversation. And so I have been feeling completely overwhelmed. I am in a spiral of what is going on, God, right? Like, hey, God, I'm calling out to you. I'm crying out to you. I'm begging you. I'm on my knees. I'm praying to you. I'm giving it to you. I come back. I take it back from you. I give it back to you. And then I'm like, God, please just answer me. And then God answers. And then I still go back to, but God. So,
well, you can't be taking it back and giving it back. You gotta give it to him and leave it there.
But so today I'm talking about Iris D.H. Owens, because I know God knows me. I know him very well. He speaks to me. I know how to call him. He definitely knows how to reach me. But I'm struggling, y'all. I am struggling in this thing called life and the challenges that are going on. And so Steph said the best thing that she could have say to me, and that was, focus on what you do have. She reminded me of, even when I think that I am in lack of something or believing that my conscious mind wants to tell me that this is going on and that's going on and this is bad and this is bad and that's not good, she reminded me of how blessed I really am. So, Steph, remind me why I'm not in lack.
Well, because you have people that love you, that are around you, that's gonna give you what you need. And to be honest with you, it's whatever, they're not really giving it to you. It's God giving it to you through them. So you have those, and it's a blessing. And we always want the blessing the way we want the blessing, but we have to receive the blessing the way that we're receiving it. And the reality is, like I was saying earlier, it's one of the hardest things to do, to really not focus on what you don't have, but focusing on what you don't have, you're only going to get more of what you don't have. You know, anything you give attention to grows.
Yes.
That's real talk. So you keep focusing on all stuff you don't have, you're gonna keep growing more stuff you don't have. So you do have to focus on all the things that you do have, and like, everything is so important. But we put all that attention there, and it's been a proven fact. Things in your life that you have focused on that were things so negative, and you just
Yes.
get more of that in your life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because everything is about attraction.
Yes.
That's the way this world works.
Right.
That's just the laws of nature.
Yeah.
You attract those. You keep thinking about it's the same thing. You think about somebody, and all of a sudden they call you. Same thing. The same thing about travel. Oh, I have this. I don't have that. You don't get. That's not gonna have more of it, whatever it may be. But you focus on all the good stuff and really keeping your vibration high. You always have to find a way to find that thing that makes you feel good. Your emotions tell you how you're doing. If you're miserable, you have a miserable life.
Well, I was telling Steph that yesterday I had a really long day yesterday. I was up at 6, left the house at like 7:30, 7:40. I needed to be in Sandy Springs by 9:30, or I should say I had a meeting at 9:30 that began at 9:30. And my GPS said I would arrive at 9:10. I was excited because I wanted to be not just on time. I wanted to be able to get there, settle in, be ready to start my training that was going on that day. And I hit the highway. And the minute I got on the highway, the GPS then says, there's an accident at the exit right before the one that I just got on, and that there was a 30-minute delay. And in my head, I'm saying, a 30-minute delay? I haven't even left the county. Like, I'm stuck for 30 minutes in the county on the highway that I just got on. Okay. I managed to get through the traffic. It was like an hour and 20 something, 30-minute ride. Got to my destination at 9:32 a.m. Okay. Got in, settled in. Everything was fine. It was time for lunch. We were supposed to have lunch on this day. They had provided us lunch. So go over to the table where there's lunch, and all the boxes say Cobb, but they had these letters, and everyone's going, well, what does that mean? And I said, oh, so Cobb salad. Okay, great. But every one of those boxes had bacon on the Cobb salad.
Yeah, I was saying you don't eat pork, right?
So now, mind you, and so mind you, now I'm a breakfast girl, but lately I have not been eating I do a smoothie in the morning during Lent season, right? So I'm not eating in the morning. I'm waiting until later in the day to partake of food. So then to discover that, okay, you can't eat that salad. So jump in my car and I go over and I'm looking for Chick-fil-A or whatever, which I'm not supposed to be eating that either, but God put it in my path. There was a Whole Foods. So I go into Whole Foods and I find myself some good old tuna sushi. And I was like, I am happy.
That's my store, Whole Foods.
Right. So yeah, that's your store. That is her. I always tell her that store actually should be called Whole Check, because that's what it is.
You gotta know how to shop.
But they have good stuff in there. So I go back to my meeting. We finish out the day. When I get back, someone says, hey, by the way, we spoke to, the instructor to remind them that there are dietary restrictions. And so, for the next meeting, that will be taken care of. Okay, great, wonderful. We finish out the day. Throughout the day, I'm having some challenges with some of the things that are being said. But I'm saying all that to say is that, so I came home, I went to another meeting. And so I didn't get home until like around 9:40. last night. I came in, got prepared, went to bed. But before I went to bed, I was having these thoughts in my head, like, what literally happened today? Like, I don't know if you've ever experienced that, where you're like, this day was like, boom, 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 boom. But then you start processing. I began to process the things that I said or the things that I did in the day. Then I started to question myself about, you're off. You're a little bit off, because I started to question myself as to whether or not I was being very aggressive yesterday. And then to top that all off, in the whatever I thought I was being aggressive about, I could barely remember what it was that I was being aggressive about. Like, I could not remember the exact conversations, but I knew that I was passionate about it. Mm-hmm. There's something wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something wrong with that.
That you got a lot on your mind.
Right. Yeah. So I came home last night, I like I said, I went to sleep. I woke up this morning, and then I started questioning myself again, like, what was that? What was that yesterday? Like, I could barely remember what. I know what I did. I know where I was. I know where I went, but it all seems very blurry to me. Mm-hmm. And so I really feel like I'm allowing the weighted things in my life to kind of take over. So I was explaining it to Steph, it's like living life like this. Like, there's this blinder, like stress and anxiety and worrying is this, right? And so no matter...
walls are closing in on you.
Right. And so no matter where I go, no matter what I do, I'm not seeing, as Steph said, focusing on what I have versus focusing on what I think I don't have. Yeah. And I think I'm probably not the only person who's going through it.
Like, people are feeling it. I mean, we're in a really, really big transition right now, in this country, in the world, actually. Coming out of, the pandemic and everything like that, where the whole world is still trying to find its footing,
Yes.
And we definitely see it in our industry, as far as us both being realtors, how it's going. And it's really, you're gonna make it. Everyone's, but it's how you see it. It's how you feel about it, and that's what's gonna be the difference in people surviving and people that don't survive.
Correct.
It's just really a whole, and that's the way the world goes. This world, like, when you look at how this world looked 50 years ago, it looks so much different. It's forever changing. I don't know why people think that it's always going to stay the same. It's never going to stay the same.
Yeah.
It's ever changing. The buildings, it's just, look at all the more people that we have in the world than we did 50 years ago.
Yeah.
So, it's forever changing. And that's life, because life is forever changing.
Yes. And every day is changing. But I will agree with you that I feel like, though, what the world went through, what we all have experienced, is something that no one else had experienced before, right? Exactly. We have been experiencing, I think there have been so many things in our lives that have happened that we have no reference to. And so when you don't have reference to something, then it's like you have to learn how to work through those things, i.e., we all remember 9/11, right? And 9/11 was nothing in our lives, in our minds, in our heart. Nothing could have prepared us for 9/11. And yet 9/11 will forever be, for our lives, a changing factor. Then we had the pandemic. Again, another major. None of us could have ever in our minds thought to ourselves, there will come a time that we will all be quarantined and restricted from leaving our homes. Right? And that we will be restricted from touching one another.
Exactly.
From being able to to see one another, to embrace one another, to share space with one another. And I think it has done so much to our psyches and also just how we process and how we see things, because it's like now we had those things happen, but now we're still seeing the result, like the results.
It's a residual effect of that.
Right. That's what I'm looking for. The residual effect is long lasting, right? It's like, so even though from the outside, I look like nothing happened to me, right? Like I survived, like maybe I got some dust on me, or maybe I did even experience COVID, but I survived. I came out of COVID, I'm fine. But are we? Because
well, I think, yeah, and I think that is how, same thing, is how you perceive it, and each person individually perceives it different.
Right.
Like for me, at the end of the day, it ended up being something that I appreciated. To be totally honest with you, I was able to accomplish a lot of things in that space, and I know other people that were also.
Yes.
I mean, because you either had to embrace it and figure out, or it was going to take you out, one way or the other. So, and it's kind of like, it's like it's like the thing when you're fighting to go upstream, you got to let go and go downstream and go with it. You know what I mean? It's so much easier. You can't fight against the tide. You have to roll with the tide.
Right.
And we have to learn to do more rolling than not.
Right. And that versus fighting against, like you just said. So as opposed to like whatever the challenge is, and I'm speaking to myself, whatever the challenges that you may be experiencing right now, stop fighting it. Right. Yeah. As Steph just said, embrace it, process it, but then you got to move on from it. You can't stay stuck in the processing of it, because the processing of it is not something that's going to automatically, the answer is going to come right there instantly. Well, and even if it doesn't mean that it's going to change the situation right then and there. Right.
Yeah, your mindset is everything. You have to get your mind, and it's okay. And sometimes that means certain people you can't speak to. Not that you don't love them, but their way of thinking is not your way of thinking.
Right.
I mean? Right. And you just got to know who you could talk to. And sometimes you need not talk to anybody. You need to just be.
Right.
You know what I mean? Meditate, take some naps, watch the most funniest movie that makes you laugh.
Right.
Whatever it's going to take to get you in that spirit. Take a walk in nature, just, I like love. Like I love looking at the sky. It's always amazing to me. It's just so beautiful. It's like a piece of art, and how it changes. So I'm like, oh my God, look at the sky. And I always had that with my children, because I think that's just so beautiful. And some people are like, oh yes, in the sky, I've seen a million of them. And that's okay too.
But the fact that you've seen a million of them, no sky is ever the same. If you and I like looking at the sky too, Steph, because I'm always saying, in my opinion, I'm standing still, but yet the world is moving.
Exactly.
I'm standing still, but I still see the movement. I see the creations of what God has created, and how it reminds me that even when I think nothing's happening, it's definitely always something happening. It's for our good. It's for the good, right? I mean, and that's how you got to look at it. Focus on what you do have versus what you don't have, or what you think you need versus what you want. Either way, you got to focus on the positive. And so, Steph encouraged me today. She's like, hey, I need you to like she said, take a nap, drink some wine, go for a walk, binge watch your favorite show, your funniest show. Don't watch the sad shows. Yeah, it's like, remind yourself of how great it was to wake up today. And I'm grateful for every day that I get to wake up, that I am alive, I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm breathing, right? I have people in my life who are here to encourage me, who love on me. And regardless of what I may look like or act like or whatever, they're still there for me. And that means the world to me.
Yeah. I mean, you have to love people you have to let people love you. Like you have to let people love you. And then you have to love yourself. We don't love ourselves enough because you, and the word, this is so true, that you teach people how to treat you. You teach people how to love you by the way that you love yourself, you know? And so you have to do that. But at the same time, I was going to say, before was that, people are always afraid of change. But you imagine, that, one time, there was horse and buggies, there was no roads,
Yes.
there was horse mess all over the streets,
There was no electricity.
I mean, the cars, like people, when the cars, like, was like freaked out. But look, can you imagine? We have roads, we have cars, we have options, we have so many different ways that we could travel now.
Evolving.
Huh?
Life is about evolving.
Exactly.
If you're not evolving, you're standing still. And you standing still means that the world, your life is passing you by.
It's
and
so
so
true.
even in those moments where it seems really hard and it seems really, difficult to focus on any one thing at a time, don't let your mind get so clouded that you can't even remember what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how I felt this morning. I felt like I went through a whole day yesterday, which says to me is that part of that day then, or most of that day, I was so overwhelmed or consumed with the things that I thought I needed to be consumed with that I put myself on autopilot, which means I probably missed some really poignant moments in my life yesterday. Mm-hmm. Because I was on autopilot, but my autopilot was not in the positive. My autopilot was in the negative, of kind of like focused on all the negative stuff that was happening, as opposed to
we went into survival mode.
Yes, that's right. That's a good terminology. Yeah,
that's what you read.
Mode.
Yeah. So your body, it needs to protect your mind, so it needs to take over.
Exactly.
To go. Exactly. But I think that when I was in the city the other day, and I stopped to get some soup, and I was sitting there eating at this place I go to, and I looked up, and there was the Empire State Building. And I love the Empire. One of the things I do love about the city is how, like, I think about like that particular building. Wow, how long it's been there. I do not know when it was built, but it has been there, was there way before I was born.
Yes.
And it's a mainstay. But I see how they're always, not always, but they just did real major renovations to it.
Yes.
Maintenance. It still looks the same, but they're always, taking care of it, making sure it looks good.
Right.
All the stores underneath always change and things like that. And it's like, it was the most beautiful thing, because at the same time, it's nice to know that things of quality, what I mean?
Built to last.
There are the things of quality that will outlive, you and I, that will always, they're not always going to be changing. And it's like, wow, that's just a phenomenal thing. And it was most beautiful. Like one of my favorite movies, and a fair to remember, they shot, I don't know if they actually shot the scene on top of Empire State Building, but it's supposed to be an entire Empire State Building. And it's like, that building is so beautiful to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of but those are the buildings, like Radio City Music Hall, just another beautiful building. I spent so much time there as a child growing up, going to see all the shows and things of that nature. So, it's like things of quality will stand the test of time. And it's something nice about that, because I do have that nostalgic side in me. And then the other part of me is like, okay, I see the change, it's better, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's a good point. So I'm going to remind myself that, see, I was built to last.
You do get better. You get better.
It's a test of time.
Wine. You're like a fine wine. You do get better with time.
You do.
I mean, and it's good. It's all good. It's definitely, you have to be in the moment. We forget those moments, and it's important. My aunt said to me years ago, when I started having children, she said, enjoy your children while they're young, because now they're like, they're always yours, but it's different way they're yours.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, okay, this Sunday we're going to your aunt's house for dinner. We're all, by the time they get 16 or 17, well, I don't want to go to my aunt's house for dinner.
Right.
And you're
Right.
like,
If
okay.
it's 16 and 17, oh my God, sometimes it's 12 and 13. They're like, I
Yeah,
don't do
yeah,
that.
you know what I mean?
I don't
And
want
then
to go over there. There's nobody over there my age. There's
they,
nothing for me to do over there.
I mean, when they're little, they're happy. Wherever you want to go, they go. You know what I'm saying? Gladly. Then they get started.
Yes.
Then they're wearing college. Then when they come home, they want to just hook up and hang out with their friends. You got to get a date with them. And then, they may take a job out of the state or out of the country.
Yes,
So you don't see
absolutely.
them. And I becoming an older mom, I already understood that. So it was so important to me to really get that time in. As I can remember, spending days, it seemed like it was, wow, they're gonna be in the Pampers for a long time, before go out of the,
Right.
what I mean?
In the beginning, it seemed like a very long beginning.
Well, because I had the two back to back, I can honestly tell you, and then it's just that instinct too. As Savannah started moving out of the way because I got pregnant with Savion, but and I just was like, and he was probably babied a little bit more longer because I knew how fast it went,
Right.
Like, wow, he's still, I'm like he's two, he's a baby still, he's a toddler,
Yeah.
and to really embrace that, what I'm saying? So you have to, because it does go by fast, but you have to, whatever it is, you have to be in the moment. But otherwise, that's why, to be honest with you, I don't understand how, I don't do it, how people are at all of these events or whatever, and they're just on they're on the phone, not, they're taking pictures, they're posting. How are you in the moment if you're posting and doing all those things?
Right, because you're missing the moment.
You're missing the moment.
Because what you're doing is you think that you're capturing the moment, but you're not technically present. That's a good point, Steph. We are so distracted these days, which is why, it's hard for people to quote unquote sit through anything, right? Why we have no patience for anything, because the minute we are sitting and there's no conversation, or sometimes even the conversation is going on, we automatically pull out our phone and we're strolling on Facebook, we're strolling on Instagram, we're strolling. I am starting to realize that, as you said earlier, sitting down sometimes is the best way to actually woosah. We are completely overstimulated on a daily basis.
Oh, absolutely.
We are overstimulated. We wake up in the morning, and so we wake up to our phones, right? Because typically our phones are the alarm. So the first thing we do is we don't, so unlike when you had an old alarm, which I do have an old alarm, that's a clock that's in my bathroom, but I only use it for time. But I'm starting to realize that I probably need to go back to that old alarm. And you know why? Because when that alarm goes off, I may hit it 2 or 3 times to make it be quiet, but I'm not going to automatically pick it up and start strolling through it. Versus,
but you don't have to. I mean, we have to judge yourself. But I use my phone as my alarm. It goes off. I get like my good morning, so and I'll send out my good morning, and I get my prayers.
Yes, because all my stuff is on my phone. But my point is that I have realized that it's much better for me to, as opposed to reading the Bible on my phone, is for me then to take my Bible out, read my Bible, because somehow reading the word itself, holding it in my hands, has a different impact on my brain and how I process it versus me reading it from my phone, right? Because I could take this phone all day long and hold it to my chest. That phone does not do anything for me. But if I have just read something out of my Bible and then take it and hold it to my chest, I'm moved. I am moved. I'm in a moment and I'm processing differently than if I had just read that on my phone. Because reading it on my phone makes me read it. I may say, oh yeah, thank you, Lord Jesus. Damn, I'm ready. I am not. I am not ready. I have just rushed through a whole moment because I'm holding this thing in my hand, right? And so for lack of a better wording for it, is learning to focus on what I have, not focusing on what I don't have, but learning to focus on what I have learned and what I have grown up with that kept me steady is where I need to be. I.e., learning how to sit down. You remember when your grandparents and your mama used to be like, sit down somewhere. Sit down somewhere. Or I don't know about you guys, but me growing up in New York, every summer spent in Charleston, South Carolina, if it started raining, it started thundering. Oh my God. What'd your grandparents tell you? If you all grew up with Southern grandparents or grandparents, what'd they tell you? God is talking. God is talking. Stop talking. Go. Let me tell you something. You want to have the best nap of your life. Have a nap in the middle of the summer in any southern state where there was a tin roof.
Oh, yeah.
You can hear that rain falling and there was nothing moving in that space. Nothing. Because everybody was sitting down, taking a nap, listening to the rain fall and listening for God.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy, but it's not crazy, y'all. Next time it rains, turn everything off in your house.
Like it's nothing like a beautiful rain. I mean, and I think when you don't have to be out in it.
Right. But I'm gonna say I love the rain so much that a few years ago I had a wonderful encounter in the rain. I love water, but I had a wonderful encounter in the rain because, again, I was going through something. I was outside, it was raining, and at first I was standing from the rain. Then something moved me. I won't say something. God moved me to say, go stand in the rain. Next thing I know, I was in the rain. I was talking to God. I was dancing in the rain.
I remember.
I know at the end, though, I was on my face in the rain talking to God. And when I got up from my face, soaking wet, it wasn't about me being wet. It was about that God had literally rained on me. Like, you know how we say, God, rain. I felt lighter. I felt better. My perspective was different. And I had a completely different outlook than before I had gone out those doors and gone into that rain. Right? So focus on, Steph reminded me today, focus on what I do have. And what I do have is that I have the ability to not focus on the negative only, but to focus on the positive.
Yeah.
Mindset is everything.
Oh my God, it's everything. And happiness.
Slow down, right? And slow down. You
have to find that place. Yeah.
Yeah. Slow down throughout the day. So when you're overwhelmed, those are the moments that, I used to always tell people, any place I ever worked, even though y'all, for those of you who have listened in, y'all know every time I have gone to the bathroom to pray, something happens. Something happens. So wherever you are, there are those, that's what we talk about, going into your closet, right? Going into your closet to talk to God, to share, to lay down your burdens, to release yourself or whatever is going on, or just to be able to say, thank you, God. Trust me, God is wherever you call him up. Wherever you call him up from, he will meet you there. He'll meet you there, and he will change perspectives. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, again, focusing on the positive. So when if this day presents challenges for you, go find your closet. Go find that place. Go find that bathroom. Go in there, put some tissue on that toilet seat, sit down and have a moment with God. And I'm talking about praying, y'all, when I say that. Let's be clear. I'm not telling you how you talk to Jesus. That's between you and Jesus. What I'm just saying, I wasn't going to the other side of that. So I don't want nobody going, oh my God, what did you just say to us? But Steph, I got to tell you, thank you, because I needed this. I needed that today. I really did.
And it helps me remind myself too, Yeah. Definitely.
I needed that today. Yeah.
That's so good. Yeah. You gotta find it. People think happiness and peace is overrated, and it isn't.
It isn't. Right. And happiness and peace is not in things.
Oh my God. It's not.
It is not in things.
And it's not in people either.
And it's not in people. Right.
It's
not, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to find
the older I get. Yeah. The older we get, you realize the Bible says this joy that I have, the world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. And that's a true statement.
Yeah. And when people come for your peace and your happiness, they got to go.
Right. Right. As I heard this young lady say on a reel one time, she says, excuse me, if I didn't come for you, don't come for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
you know, you got to but you have to, what you do have to do is you have to prepare. I mean, sometimes you're going into a den of thieves, literally.
Yeah. But you got to prepare yourself.
Yeah, you have to prepare yourself. And when, it's like, okay, I got to go now. You on the countdown for how much you can take, because, like they will come for you, but you have to you got to fight for that. But not fight for it. You just have to, I don't want to use the word fight because that's a negative word, but you have to really, really be conscious of those things.
Yeah.
And conscious of your feelings.
Yeah. Refocus.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. You have to
refocus.
Yeah, definitely. It's so important. And I encourage everyone this weekend to, focus and find that peace, find that happiness, that inner peace, that inner happiness, which no one can ever take from you. And, find a place to go to get it. Because you're going to have moments that it's not there, but you're going to have to go back to it, all the time.
Yep. So honey bunny, thank you for that. Because
honey bunny,
I didn't want to spend another day in this fog like I did yesterday.
Yeah. And I hear you. I hear you. Like I said, I took a nap yesterday and it changed my life. I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. I was feeling a little foggy. I don't know. It was like one of them days. I'm like,
yes, okay. I'm serious. I feel like I was on autopilot yesterday, but I am not on autopilot today. I am driving, and maybe I won't drive today at all. Honestly,
yeah, I would tell you, if you don't have to go nowhere, because I am that person. You know me, I could be like a hermit. Like I will hermit on you and admit you what. I didn't leave the house. How many days?
Right.
But I got a phone, computer. I can work and do everything I need to do. I will hermit on you in a minute.
And so I've already done my Friday projects, right? I already done my stuff for Friday. I have a few more things I need to do, but I am going to take a woosah moment today because it is definitely needed. So I'm going to encourage you all that take a nap, walk outside, play in your garden, sit and read a book, drink some wine, watch your favorite TV show, or if push comes to shove, sit in your house and stare at your ceiling if that's what it takes.
Yeah.
Whatever you to refocus.
Whatever it is, definitely.
Whatever it is.
Yes.
Right? If you need to cry it out, then go ahead and cry it out. If you need to pray it out, go ahead and pray it out. If you got to scream it out, go ahead and do it, because it's a whole lot more room out here than it is in either of these two places.
Exactly. As long as you're not harming yourself or anyone else.
Exactly. So, I just, it's Friday. Enjoy it. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy your time.
Definitely. Enjoy your life.
I have some sayings that, I have given each day of the weekend. So Fridays for me is Freedom Friday. So this is my Freedom Friday. I'm serious. Freedom Friday. Free yourself from the things that are holding you back. Free yourself from the things that are making you think that something's not right with you. Free yourself from those things, right? Free yourself from your stress, you have the ability to do that. And
absolutely. Because bondage and all those things are in your mind.
Oh, yes. To focus on what we have. Focus on what you have versus focusing on what you do not have.
Yeah, so true.
Because we have so much more than we could ever even imagine or be, grateful for, but be grateful for it. Be grateful for every day, every second, every minute, every hour, every month, every week.
So true.
Right.
So true.
And And be thankful even for the challenges, because the challenges help remind us how blessed we really are. Mm-hmm. So, honey bunny, thank you. I appreciate you and love you so much for
I appreciate you too, honey.
This moment in time in Black history. I appreciate you so much. You know, of course, I don't think we even said this whole month we have gone through talking, and we did not say that is, you know, Happy Women's History Month. And so,
yes, we have that.
We didn't.
Yeah. We did. Well, we did one. I think one show we talked about the women that were important in our lives. Or did we do that last month?
That was last year.
Oh, last year. So wow.
That was last year. So imagine that, right? This is we're in year 2. Are we in year 2? No,
3.
We're in year. Are we in year 3?
Yeah, we started in 2021. No, we're in 3.
OMG.
Wow. I'm pretty sure with this
third year 3. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back.
It is.
I think by the end of this year.
Yeah. You know why? No, because this Father's Day is going to be the 3rd Father's Day. Yes. Yep. Because the first, yes, we're definitely in year 3.
Oh my God.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Because I remember I was in 260 River Road. We had the first Father's Day, and you gave really big ups to your children's dad.
I did.
And last year I was here, where I am now.
Right. That's right.
Right.
Oh my God. This time has gone so fast.
This month, because we started in March. We got Yes.
Oh, did we miss our anniversary? Oh man, we got It's our anniversary.
Yeah, it's our anniversary. Yes.
Anniversary. Oh, we're gonna have to celebrate our anniversary. Okay, so guys, stand by. We're definitely gonna have to celebrate our anniversary.
They get ready to get back together. Tony, and Tony. It's our anniversary.
Well, then I guess we're gonna celebrate our anniversary.
Oh my God! Yes, I just think that this month is our anniversary.
Okay, so stay tuned, guys. Next week we're gonna have an anniversary show. Amen. We're gonna have a quick anniversary party that we're gonna put together. So I'm just y'all know that right now.
For sure.
Oh my God. I love you, honey bunny.
I love you too, honey.
Enjoy the weekend. Hey guys, enjoy yourselves.
Yeah, you do the same.
Take some time out. We love
you.
Definitely
take some time out. Yes, take care of yourselves. Love on yourself. We don't love on ourselves enough. Love on yourself.
We don't. We always try to wait. Sometimes we spend more time beating up than we do loving on ourselves.
But no one's gonna love you like yourself. Love on yourself. Yes, so you gotta love on yourself for sure.
All right.
You are God's children.
Yes, we are. Have a great weekend, guys. We love you.
Have a great